And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please welcome to the ice the members of the 2016 NCAA National Champions from the University of North Dakota.
Welcome back to the Has-Beens, presented by 10K Takes, brought to you always by the Chill Boys.
And you can go on www.chillboys.com. And listeners, you can type in HB15 to get 15% off your first order from the Chill Boys. Get your underwear, socks made out of bamboo.
And tonight, I am joined by a very special guest, Zach Driscoll. Zach, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, fellas. Super pumped to be here and chat with you guys.
Oh, yeah. And as always, Trevor Olson, Jack Mason. Great to have you guys here as well. Travie. Let's get into our weekend recap brought to you by Beauty Status. And once again, folks, Beauty Status, I'm wearing one right now. You know, the Hawks, Mighty Ducks, Adam Banks, the Bad Boys. There it is.
Going down there, I'm going all the way.
Yeah, get it on Beauty Status. Beauty Status, www.beautystatishky.com, and they've got everything you need on there. But let's get into our weekend recap here. And Ols always starts us off. What did you get up to, Ols?
Yeah, I went up north to the hometown Duluth, and I played in a member guest golf tournament with my brother all weekend. So it was good to see some old friends play at the old stomping grounds. Yeah, it was good to see everybody. Had quite a few drinks and you know, some extracurriculars. And
how'd you fare out there, Ols? Did you guys win any hardware or?
You know what? We're actually a little disappointed. So there's like 11 flights in this member guest, and it's all based on handicap. Okay, and there's 6 teams in each flight, and whoever wins the flight gets in, and then there's 2 wild card spots. And so we didn't win our flight. One team put up 31.5 points. We had 30, so we missed out there. And you get points by winning holes and then winning the match. And then, you know, you get a half point for getting a tie or whatever. Anyway, so we put up 30 points, which is a monstrous number because we won 4 of our 5 matches. And we ended up missing the wild card spot. We were waiting around. We were sitting right on the cut line, and all of a sudden somebody came in with a higher score than us, 31. So we lost out by 1 point in the wild card and 1.5 in our flight. So I shook my brother's hand, said, "Good to have you," and then I drove home.
What'd you do after? Did you go the old Nodak, you know, win or lose, we booze?
It was a Sunday. I had to drive back to the city, so I couldn't really invest time or money into some beverages. But
you didn't want to drunk drive all the way back to the cities. It's probably a good business call.
And it's a very good business call because before you hopped on here, I was talking with Drizzy and Mace, and I told him about the rainstorm that I drove through. It was like literally Hurricane Katrina. It was brutal on our way back. So I had to pull over, and that just would have been a whole mess with.
You had to pull over? It was raining so hard?
Yes. There were hundreds of cars. Hundreds of cars on I-35 just pulled over to the side. It was wild.
That quick little story here that reminds me, one time I was driving through like a monsoon like that, actually right by the Alaire Center on the interstate there. I was going about 50 miles an hour. It was raining so hard. I started hydroplaning. I was doing 360s in the middle of the road and went straight into the ditch. I was fully embraced for the car to be rolling like 15 times. And I just stayed flat and just came to an end. And some guy drove by with a pickup truck and he's like, "Hey, I got a big chain here. I'll pull you out." Pulled me out and I just fucking kept driving. It was insane.
No damage.
No, nothing. It was nuts.
Dude, that's when your stomach just drops. It's just horrible. You can't do anything. You're just spitting like a fucking in a teapot at the parade or whatever.
Oh. Yeah, well, Mace, what did you get up to?
Not too much this weekend. Friday was pretty much like the most exciting day. Me and my dad went to Yankee Tavern, got some drinks, played some pull tabs.
There you go.
But while we were there, this one guy that was sitting at the end of the bar took a little fall in the bathroom, and the paramedics had to come and get him out.
Oh.
So that was an experience I'd never seen down in the city.
That's where you got to get those life alerts. You know, those commercials. Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
It's on the greasy
Press the button.
Actually, it's
I
such a great invention.
Oh, I hate laughing at those commercials, but they are hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, it could be you one day. You never know.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I hope I make it to that point.
But that was pretty much it for my weekend. Saturday, Sunday, did a little bingo. That was about it.
Did you get to yell bingo at all?
Nope. Only took L's.
Did you win pull tabs or anything like that?
I mean, we threw in $40 and got 25 out of it, but then we put the 25 back in. Just
Smart.
got nothing.
Yeah.
Right? You have to.
We were
This
debating,
place-
and we were just like, "You gotta." I mean, it would
This
just be.
place just chewed up Mason, spit him out. Thanks for coming, bud.
It's twice in a row. I've just been not having any luck with pull tabs.
Yeah.
That's right. Keep going back. You'll win.
The big one's coming. I know it.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Drizzy, what did you get up to? I feel like we should reach out to you more. I mean, you're in town, you know, you're an alumni, you're a Sioux.
Yeah.
I feel like we should meet up for a couple of beers at some point.
You see my just
Yeah.
hung this puppy today.
I love that.
Yeah. Perfect spot. Spot.
Yeah, it just happened to be where I decided to film this today. No, I also was in a tournament this weekend. Different sport though. I played my third ever pickleball tournament.
Nice.
Oh, unreal.
Yeah, so I started playing that last summer. It's so fun, man. So my partner is he's 49. His name's Jesse. Met at the courts in Lakeville last year. So him and I on Saturday grinded at this tournament for like 6 hours in the sun. Ended up taking we went undefeated all the way up to the championship game, and then just couldn't finish it. We played two guys, and one of the guys we'll get to this talk later, but one of the guys was like, he had to have been pushing close to 70. Like, I'm not kidding, this guy. But he was so solid of a player, but the heat was getting to him. The heat
Those
was
old-
getting to him.
Oh,
Like, he was cramping so bad. Like in between matches, they're like feeding him bananas and like trying to get it, but like he could barely walk. Man, we couldn't beat this guy. It was crazy. So
those old guys are so silky out there. They got so much touch.
he was a wizard, dude. He was like he
Yeah.
couldn't move. He was getting these balls. So yeah, it's a tough second place finish. I actually have a silver medal in my drawer here. I should have brought that out, but
Yeah.
that was my Saturday, and then Sunday I just went and actually played a little more just for fun with some buddies, and
Yeah.
just
So
back to the drawing board.
I've got to ask. I mean, I know like it kind of got big towards when I had left. You remember also when Pogo was playing Schloss in
Yeah.
pickleball, and I
Yep.
remember seeing all these guys that Drizzy was just playing with. They were playing Schloss too. So were you a part of that crew that was kind of playing pickleball in Nodak?
Yeah, so this like last summer when I went up there, I brought like my paddles because I heard Slosh played. So I played a few times with him. I didn't play at all with Pogo. He wasn't. I wasn't around when he was around or whatever. But Ports is also from St. Cloud, like Pogo, and they play together all the time
Yeah.
apparently, in the summer. So like Ports has paddles, he plays. Sandy had paddles, he came out a few times. Gavin Hain, and then like a couple times in the summer we just brought like every paddle that we had, and I think like most everyone tried it at some point.
Oh yeah, you have to.
And then last summer, right before we left, actually, Weatherby and I played in a tournament up there and beat Slosh and his partner. So
Let's go. You had to be so
in
around.
the championship, or was
no,
it
it
just
wasn't. It was to go to the championship, maybe.
okay?
Or like a game before that. So we ended up taking silver in that one too. We lost to two guys from Bemidji, but just can't. That gold is just it's tough to get right now. Just
Yeah.
you know,
I've been there too. I got 2 silver medals at back at home. It's tough, but
Yeah.
it's hard work nonetheless. You know.
No, I mean, yeah, we have similar tournaments for our medals here, but you know, my my local men's pickleball tournament and your silver medals. I'm sure they're similar caliber.
I mean, they mean
Probably
just as much. Silver, gold's gold. Doesn't matter what you get it in. They don't ask how. They ask how many. And I've only got 2 silvers, 0 golds, so I can't say much.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Yep.
Ricky Bobby, baby.
Well, yeah. So I guess future coming up this weekend, I'm actually going to Deadwood, South Dakota. I'm playing in my Grand Forks buddies. There's 12 of us. We're playing this golf tournament. It's called the Kitschy Cup. And it's a 2v2. You're partnered with another guy, and you both scramble, and you play 2 rounds. The Friday round, we're going Thursday, playing Friday. Friday rounds, you're playing for all the marbles or whatever. I'm with Casey Perper, partnered up, and we went out to Chaskatown and played Paula Dude and Dallas Dragic from Grand Forks. And we're kind of pretty even. We played Chaskatown, and Perp and I took him to the woodshed, beat him by 8 strokes. It was almost awkward, like I was telling Perp, like, should we take it easy a little bit here? It's getting a little awkward towards the end. And but I'm pretty excited for that. And then that was on Friday. And then Saturday I went to Prior Lake and went to Alabama. It was pretty cool. Alabama's good old band. They're like 72 years old, so they're still up there rocking it out. But it was one of those concerts where, there's too many people there, and you're just getting shouldered like constantly.
Is that at Lake Jam or what?
Yeah, Lakefront Music Festival or whatever. Yeah.
So was Alabama? Were they like the midday, or is that who like performed the big show at night?
That was the big show at night. So, like, Alabama, people our age probably wouldn't know, but they're like known as the best country band in the world ever. Like, they're kind of like started it. So there's a lot of older people. I like some of their songs, but the acoustics weren't great. A little too many people there, but nonetheless, you're still at a concert, have a good time. And then Sunday did pretty much nothing. So that recaps my weekend, but I am looking forward to this next coming weekend to talk about, how I placed in Deadwood, South Dakota. I'll probably hit up casinos out there, They don't have any more brothels. They used to have brothels. Oh, it's going to be great. But it's going to be like 96 degrees, so I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll battle
through it.
Yeah, we'll battle.
I'll add on to that. My weekend coming up, I've got Duluth buddies coming down for a golf tournament as well. So, and then obviously this next Monday is the UND alumni golf event over in Hopkins that I'll be joining as well. So should be. Drizzy,
are you going to? Do you guys got a team going to that at all, or?
I hadn't even heard about it. Where am I at?
I'm putting this on Dusky. Dusky's supposed to get all these guys the emails and get all these guys to the tournament, and like, what else you got going on?
I'll check.
Like, how does he not have an email to come to this tournament? Like, we need all the boys
there. The Alumni Association hasn't got a hold of Drizzy's email yet.
They're trying to figure out which of the. They're just sorting through the 3 school addresses I have. I just got an email. I'm on the Beaver alumni mailing list too, and I just got 3 tea times still available.
Every summer, it's not weddings for him. It's alumni golf events. Like, I gotta go to the Huskies. I gotta go to Bemidji. And the Lancers have something going on, and then I gotta get up to Penticton, and then got the North Dakota thing. So I can't go to any weddings because I got too many alumni golf events.
I mean, going down to Spam Town in Austin, getting one in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the fun stuff. We're changing it up a little bit. It's not hypotheticals; it's the fun stuff. And in the short future here, it's going to be brought to you by another sponsor of ours that's making some more clothing. One of our friends, and he's actually going to be the guest next week, so we'll hold that off for now. But let's get into the first one. The segment's called What's Bumpin', and we're just going to cover, some of the tunes we've been listening to. Because everyone likes listening to a podcast, and, you get some song recommendations, maybe download them. All right, it's always nice. It's tough to find good songs. So does anyone want to start us off? Like, You got any good songs you've been listening to that you think we should put on the playlist?
Oh, let's see. I don't know. I'm into Mike Stud, like just Mike now. I guess he just came up with something.
Mike period.
Mike period. Yeah, he's all over my recommended listening. He just came out with a new one, like "Good Day" single. It's on his album. It's like nice chill ride music. Not going to get you overhyped, but just nice little cruise music. I'm a big fan of Mike for sure. He's always.
I like that choice. He just played in Minneapolis last Thursday.
Yeah, again, I must live under a rock because I had no idea these things were going on around me.
Yeah.
I actually think I was out of town last Thursday, so
that works out.
I proposed last Thursday, so that's a good excuse.
Oh,
that is a great excuse.
Wow.
Why is that not on our notes here?
I don't know. I'm not trying to distract from our segment. Don't keep talking about your songs.
That wasn't on his weekend recap. It wasn't, it wasn't that important.
It was 2 weekends ago.
Oh,
I didn't go
congrats,
back.
Man. That's awesome.
Hey, thank you.
She said yes, obviously.
She said yes, and we're moving to Scotland, so we'll talk about that later. But went well. Went well.
Nice, attaboy. Nice. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Olson, Mace, you got anything you want to recommend?
I'll go here, Mace. And by meaning I'll go is I haven't changed how I listen to music in 28 years. I listen to Pandora. I listen to the Pandora with the commercials, and I don't have an aux cord in my car, so I listen to radio stations. And if I hear that Jack Harlow fucking song one more time,
what's poppin'?
L-A, that one's ass. Ass song. I hate that song. I hear it 47 times a day. I hear it on my way to work. I hear it at work, and then I come home and I hear it on the way home. It's awful.
What about the Harlow song where he name drops Dua Lipa? That one's kind of catchy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You'd have to tell me. This is the thing where I can like sing to 95% of the songs, but I don't know artists and I don't know names of songs. So the fact that I know this Jack Harlow guy for this one song says a lot.
Says he's open.
Jack Harlow is fucking hot right now.
Yeah, he's
update yourself in some pop culture here.
Yeah, well, everybody was on the Top Gun train, and I didn't like that either. So maybe I'm just out here to piss people off right now. I don't know.
Top Gun was elite.
Parrots K's ass too. While we're on it,
I was gonna bring that up.
Parrots K in Grand Forks. You know what? Great establishment. Ass wings. Terrible.
I can jump in here. I only ate at Parrots K once. It was like my first week in town, and Colton Poolman and Dano, the equipment manager, they're like, "Yeah, I'll take you, local spot, right?" Like, yeah, this is the address. So my girlfriend and I get in the car, we're driving over there, and I pull up, I'm like, this isn't right. We're at like a fucking gas station or something. It's got the metal bars on the outside. And they're like, no, this is this right spot. So we go inside and like kind of little like cool little bar atmosphere, right? ID to get inside at like a 3:00 on a Tuesday. Go inside. I had like Colt is trying to like explain to me how like the shark sauce works on the wings and stuff, right?
Yep.
It was fine. Like decent wings, just regular chips for your side. And what I didn't realize is what it was going to do to me the next morning. And I had an 8 a.m. exam, right?
Oh, no.
I'm taking my CPA exam, which is a 4-hour exam. And you only have scheduled breaks. So the first like testlet that I was in was like 33 multiple choice questions. I'm in there sweating because I'm trying to take this test. And then I'm like, oh, here come the Shark 7s. And I'm in my chair squirming. And I can't get out until needless to say, I probably failed the test because I just was clicking through answers to go run to the bathroom. As a Parrots K.
Did you let one blow or no?
Yeah, I mean, it was at McCannell Hall. They were probably
the people next to him probably failed too because they were just smelling shit the whole time.
We're just gonna steal.
Who fucking shit themselves?
He's got a Huggies diaper on, taking this exam, just pooping his pants.
Have you seen that bench warmers when the guy opens the porta potty door. It's like, who did this?
Yeah.
That's probably what they walked into.
I got one like that freshman year. We were in microeconomics, so the big study hall, and there was about 6 hockey players and 5 football players sitting next to each other, right back middle. And I let one rip right in the middle. I thought it was going to be silent. It was not silent.
I thought it was going to be silent.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed that thing. So, how about you, Mace? What do you got? What's bumping?
So I'll switch it up. We've had 2 rap ones, so I'm gonna go with a rock recommendation. I just found out about the song probably about a week ago. It's called "Freaking Out on the Interstate" by Princeton Maroney. I don't really know anything about the artist besides this song, but it's a good like jam song. Like you could listen to it on the highway, just cruise.
I like
I
that.
don't know. If you like rock music, I recommend checking out that song.
I love it. I love it.
Good rec. Okay, I'll go. I've got Mountain Men by Alabama, obviously. If you haven't heard that one, it's a classic. Mountain Men, put it on. You've probably heard it. Listen to it. Great tune. And then I've got a little newer one. It's called Breathe Deeper by Lil Yachty and Tame Impala. And this Tame Impala band's kind of like a new little, I don't know how to describe their music. They're a little different, but they make like these weird little beats, and it's great. It's great stuff. I think you're guaranteed to like it.
Is it EDM?
It's not necessary. It's not really EDM. It's kind of like a mix of alternative EDM kind of like beats, but then it's like a normal. I don't know how to describe it. You'd have to listen to it. I could play it. I don't know if you're gonna hear it. Can you hear it?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, a little preview there.
I like it.
But those are my 2 recs. People, add them if you want. If you don't, go fuck yourself. Let's get into the next one here. Throwback Thursday. And this was Mace's idea. Actually, a lot of these were Mace's idea, and I like this one, Throwback Thursday, because I do take a lot of snaps, and I never really send them out to anyone. I just save them because I know in like a year or 2, it'll pop up. Like a year from now or a year ago, you were doing this. And it's fun to see those. Does anyone have anything interesting they were up to a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Mine from 1 year ago today is moving in. I was moving into my apartment pretty much this week of last year up in Grand Forks. So not terribly exciting, but
No, I love that. Where'd you live?
McEnroe, right across 42nd there from the Alaris.
Is that right by the where's
Grand
that?
Junction?
Yeah, Grand J. Let's go.
Yeah. So I went to Junk quite a few times with
Oh yeah.
shout out to Jake Schmaltz and the boys on that one. He was
Yeah.
nice Sunday Trudy at Junk.
Multi loves Junk.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. All Schmaltzies love Grand Junction.
It's in their blood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They can't shake it. So
Yeah.
that's
What
what
a
that's
spot.
what I was up to here.
I lived in McEnroe in my senior year too. Great spot. Walk over to
So,
Alaris, Grand
Yeah,
Junk.
I hope they're listening right now. They kind of gave me. We had to move out of our apartment this year because we had mold in it at towards the end of the year. So we moved out. I lived in a hotel getting close to playoff time. I was in a hotel at the extended stay on 42nd. I was in a hotel for 10 days in a row.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
A little staycation Grand Forks.
Yeah.
One of them had a hot tub. It was unreal.
Yeah.
So then they tried to charge us for rent for the 15 days that I wasn't in my apartment. Just don't even get me started on Macro, but
Yeah.
that's what I was up to a year ago. So not too much.
Yeah, mine was. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ellis.
No,
Oh, yeah.
you go, Gager.
Mine's kind of funny here. I wrote them down. So last year, 1 year ago, I was wake surfing, which sounds awesome. I haven't done that once this summer. It doesn't look like I'm ever going to get out there, which is sad. 2 years ago, this is funny now. 2 years ago, on my memories right now, I'm at Christo's house singing karaoke for Christo's going away party. 3 years ago, I'm at Christo's house throwing his going away party. It was hilarious when I was going back. Like we had those 2 years in a row. Like I didn't even realize.
Yeah. They just meshed together that whole year. You thought the one party started, and then you were singing karaoke at the end of that first night.
When I saw him, I was like, "Is that the same year?" No, those are years apart. It was so funny because the videos of Jordan Schmaltz singing karaoke, and there was just like 8 guys in there, no girls, just us 8 guys singing karaoke to each other.
Talk about a bro night. That's elite.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was last year at this time. I was shacked up in. Actually, that was God. See, this is why I wish I did those snap memes like you talk about. My girlfriend, she saves every video to her memories, and so it's like, okay, this is a sweet memory. I never do that shit, and I wish I did because I can't even remember what happened 6 days ago.
It's fun, man. I don't even send these snaps to anyone. Like no one's ever seen them. I just save them and delete them.
Yeah. See, I got to learn to do that.
And I don't even go back and look at my memories. I'll just only look at like what I was doing a year ago because they'll all pop up.
Yeah, that's fair. I was probably I moved down to Minneapolis last March, so I'm 3 months in at this point last year to a Minneapolis move. So I'm probably at the loop. 6 days a week. I'm on LinkedIn, looking for a job, things like that. Shooting a message to Shelby on Instagram, setting up our first date, that kind of shit. So
sending out the lines, see if she likes the bait.
Yep, exactly. I still remember the first message I sent to her. So, but yeah, I wasn't up to too much. I was on the job hunt. I was enjoying my new scene. What was the message? Well, she was just. I'm a huge golfer, Drizzy. So like she was standing on the back of a cart, like drinking a White Claw. So I was like, all right, this is my kind of gal. So I shot her a message. I was like, when are we playing? Trying to be smooth or whatever. Yeah, and it worked. It worked out. Went on a date not too many days later. So it was good times. Good times.
Love that. Mace, what were you up to?
So I got 2 of them. So first one, 5 years ago, I lost $100 at Mystic. So
it's a good night.
Hate to see it, but then 3 years. 3 years ago today, me and a couple buddies went up and took a trip up to Thunder Bay. We rented out like a cabin, like 2 or 3 hours north of Thunder Bay, and spent like a weekend up there. It's pretty fun.
Mace is always going on these sick trips. Like he's going to Mexico, like no one knows where it is. And then he's going up Thunder Bay, north of it. Like that's fucking nasty.
The nearest town was like 2 hours away, so we ran out of beer at one point, and we made a 3-hour trip just to go get more.
Wow. I respect the dedication.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
But that was all on my review.
All right, I like that. Let's move on to the nail gun of the week. And this is just anyone you saw in the last week. Could be a random. Mine's kind of funny. It's not even a person. Just the nail gun of the week and kind of explain it a little bit. I can start us off if you guys like. My nail gun of the week is a grizzly bear that saw himself in a mirror for the first time. If you saw that video on social media, this grizzly bear walks up. He's walking around, he sees the mirror, and he just automatically goes in full tilt mode. Like he's trying to fight himself in this mirror. Like hammers the mirror, and then he's like, grab it, he quickly rips it down, and he's like, where the fuck is he? Like he was ready to go right away. Like the reaction time when he saw his face, like it was instant. Like he just punched it, like was attacking it. Oh, it's great to see.
Auto shed.
Yeah.
Auto shed just let's
You're
go.
mine. You're mine.
Drizzy, you have a nail gun of the week in mind, or you want me to go?
I'm
All right.
placing a full nomination on the 67-year-old that beat me in the pickleball tournament. He
Oh, I
was
love that.
That's for sure.
just limping into the finish line and got the job done. So yeah, like a couple bananas, and his partner was like took a wet towel and was like massaging his calf with the cramp.
That's
out.
incredible.
Yeah, so hats off to that guy. And if anybody's gonna beat me, I'm glad it was him.
Did you grab his autograph afterwards, or?
He was, I was like 90% sure he was gonna die on that court. He made it. He was good. He was good.
I love it. I love it. That guy is a nail gun. I'm going to go with a guy. I'm not going to say names because, this is a local podcast up in Duluth. A lot of people listen. But there was this guy. He got so hammered this weekend. He had the old legs before the body look. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but he was so hammered. His legs were out in front of his body. You know how you kind of do like that sag.
Yeah.
and you're walking around with your legs in front of your body. Yeah. Oh yeah. One of those. That's exactly it. He was so cooked. That's how he's walking around the golf course. So that's my nail gun of the week.
What a beauty.
That's a good one. For my nail gun of the week, I'm going with the guy from the NHL draft. The Iceman, or Isaac Howard is his name. He was wearing the white coat, white pants with the blue turtleneck and the USA belt buckle.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just nails.
Yeah,
That was fucking electric.
Yeah, I've skated with him before. He's a good guy too. So
Really?
yeah, that's
Where's he
awesome.
from?
He's from like Hudson, Wisconsin, originally, I think.
Okay.
But I've skated with him at a little mini rink over in Rosemont, and like that was like my first skate of the summer. Again, was like, hey, do you want to come skate with these 4 kids? I didn't realize they were all U18 NTPers. So it's like,
Oh, they're probably buzzing out there, just fucking
Oh, my
snapping
God.
it crispy.
and it's at the mini rink, right? So a shot from the top of the circles there is like bottom hash in a real ring. So just get
Oh,
I didn't realize I was skating with first rounders.
I was one of those guys that went hard in summer skate, though. I was trying to go bonk every single time.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
ridiculous.
that's good
Man, I haven't
shit.
seen the puck in 3 months. You can relax.
yeah.
I love that.
That does
Mace.
not-
Good
know.
choice.
Didn't know he was preparing for the draft, so that's my bad.
Yeah, that's like one of the reasons I am happy I wasn't a goalie, because those summer skates sound just miserable. No one's playing defense. You're basically just stopping breakaways the whole time. Like,
Yeah,
fuck, that would suck.
Hey, we signed up for it, right?
Yeah,
Playing-
that's true.
Playing my
Which-
first ever beauty league game on Wednesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they needed he asked me at the beginning of the summer, because I was like out and about coaching. I was like, I can't commit to like every day, but I can be a floating sub if you want. He texted me saying they needed a guy. So skated once in 3 months, and I'm going to go skate with those guys. So the fans are going to get their money's worth in goals for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I respect the grind, though. I respect you hopping in there and just kind of taking it on the chin.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, back to Howard there, Iceman, right? They call him. That's legit. So
Yeah.
Good for him.
Unbelievable.
What do you think about him saying he just like stone cold killer? Like, I'm the best looking guy in the draft. So like
Was that a real quote? I thought that was
Yes.
fake.
no, he said that.
It was let me find it here. I think I'm
That
the
is
best looking guy here.
unbelievable.
I think I'm the best looking guy here, so I decided to be the best dressed too.
That is
That was
so
his quote.
sick. That guy is leaking with confidence. Absolutely.
We need more of
Hunter.
that.
Absolutely correct. Big
We need
old
more of
horn
that
on that
for
guy.
sure. We need more of that for sure.
That's incredible
Like-
content.
And he's probably being a beauty about it too. Like, he's probably, everyone, like his buddies probably know he's just fucking around, but people are like, "Wow, this guy's serious! Like, what a prick!"
Well, Yager responded to him.
I
Yeah,
saw
wait.
that.
Yeah, Yager like tweeted like, "Thank goodness, like it's not 1990. A big guy would rearrange his face."
Yager
That's
said that.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's so sick. You get a reaction from Yager your first day. That's incredible.
Yeah. Welcome to the league.
I love it. That's sweet.
Welcome to the league.
Sweet.
Oh man, that's good. Ols, do you want to get us going on the sin bin and kind of explain it to Drizzy on how he's going to answer?
Drizzy, this one's all on you, brother. We're putting basically 2 minutes on the clock. You're in the penalty box, 2-minute rapid fire questions. And all you need to do is just quickly answer off the top of your head, rating it 1 through 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. It'll be different things, experiences, establishments, things like that. And we're just going to rip them and you just answer them as quickly as possible.
All right, let's do it. Never been in the penalty box in my life, but let's go.
I have. It's nerve-wracking at times. All right. We are going to go 1 through 10. Herb Brook Center.
6.
Bemidji State University.
6.
Ralph Engelstad.
10.
Your looks.
8.
I love that. Your game in net.
8.
Your game out of the net.
9.
Oh,
baby.
The Gophers.
Ooh, 4.
Your first sexual experience.
3.
Bush Light.
7.
Red Pepper.
5.
There's a few things we found out about that segment.
We learned he doesn't really like red pepper.
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
I went 0 times this year in Grand Forks.
Really?
The
only time I've had it 3 times in my life. I went 1 time after a night out with Dixie and Colton, and it was all right. And then it was when I played for Bemidji and we played in the Ralph. That's what they would send us home with on the bus. Were grinders from.
You got red pepper to go for your bus rides.
And the boys are just trying to make it back to Bemidji before shitting themselves on the
bus. There's 2 times you eat red pepper. It's at 1 a.m. or it's Sunday at noon.
Yeah, there's no in between. There's no in between.
You can't be grinding that thing on the bus on the way home.
Yeah. So you just don't like that type of food, or you don't like white sauce or something? Because I feel like if you don't like white sauce, you're not going to like red pepper. There's no chance.
I liked it. I just if I'm going to go get a greasy meal, it's probably not that.
What are you going with?
I responded to you on Twitter about it. I think I missed maybe in my last 3 years at Bemidji and then Grand Forks, I think I maybe missed 5 or 6 Sundays where I didn't go to Culvers.
Oh yeah. Elite choice.
Automatic.
What's your order there? What do you get?
Yeah, what do you get?
How about my fiance can say my Culvers order? So that's how you know we go there.
I love that.
A double cheeseburger value basket. Usually sub out the drink for a concrete mixer. Stick with the fries. Fries are good.
Really? No curds.
No curds.
There it is.
So there's a couple variations. If I'm hungry, I'll get the burger and then I'll get just the tenders on the side, no basket. If I'm hungry but then I'll get fries and then just a side of curds on the side.
Okay.
I saw something on Twitter when I'm done playing and just can be fat, don't have to worry about it. I'm already there.
Be careful going down that road because I promise you it's not a fun.
I'm not a very. You haven't seen my Ironman results. I'm not a very strict dietitian. I saw something on Twitter that was they put cheese curds in the fries and in the same thing, and then put 2 sides of gravy on it, and made Culver's poutine. Yeah, that might be at my retirement party one day. I think.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, just put that on your. Next time.
Maybe that's what we do. We go to Culvers with Drizzy and he shows us the ropes.
Yeah.
So, all right, I got one more. I don't know if you go to my Instagram, all the boys would always any picture I posted from Nodak. I have a picture where I tagged Culvers with I was looking at the puck and the puck's coming at me and I tagged Culvers as the puck. And like the boys like with NIL, like this year, like the boys are like tagging Culvers like to give me like a Drizzy 10 coupon to save or something. But how about this? So I when you sign up for the rewards thing, you get I got like an email thing saying like, buy a value basket, get a free concrete mixer. And it had an expiration date on it. And every time you showed it to them on their phone, they never scanned it or anything. They just gave you the free concrete mixer. So they had the expiration date on it. And I went on Snapchat and like used the white pen and like then typed in a new expiration date. I use it all year. I use it the entire year.
That is so slick.
No way.
Yeah, I was getting free mixers all year.
That is so
unbelievable.
Slick. Yeah. Yep. So that's my little Culver story.
Damn, that's incredible. I wanted to ask, he brought up NIL. I mean, we can bring that up when we get to college, I guess, but let's move past the fun stuff and get into the what people listen to us for is hockey and Drizzy's career here. So obviously you're from Apple Valley, right? And then you played high school for Eastview, which is in Woodbury, kind of, right?
No, so you're thinking of East Ridge.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so Eastview and Apple Valley are in the same town. Apple Valley wasn't very good at hockey, and I live 2 blocks from Eastview High School, so that's like where I grew up, going through the youth program there, and then 2 years of high school there as well.
So we always ask, I mean, what is he, our third goalie on?
He's our third goalie.
Like, so how'd you decide to be a goalie when you're playing hockey?
I think we just rotated, like in mites. Like he was like everybody kind of rotated, and then I honestly don't. I think the story that I go with is one day like a kid forgot his gear and I had to go, or a kid didn't show up and I had to play or something. But like I still remember playing forward, like in like winter and fall leagues and stuff. But then when I switched to goalie, I think it was like my 4th year mites, like the last year advanced mites is kind of when I switched like full time, and I just loved it. Just kind of the feeling of being able to win or lose games for the team type of feeling, and just stuck with it.
I feel like all the goalies kind of, when they choose to be a goalie, they like that feeling of like, all right, I just want us to fucking game. I'm gonna keep playing.
Well, yeah,
that's a good feeling.
It's a great feeling, and then you get older and you realize, shit, I can lose a game too really easily.
Oh, so. I know. I was fucking. Goalies are so funny because they go through like stints of where like they're unbelievable and then they're down and like people hate them and then they're back to being unbelievable, which like, I mean, we won't go too far because we'll get into it, but that was kind of reminding me of your season. Now, like people, you go through a little tougher stretch, and North Dakota fans are tough and they're just like, he doesn't have it anymore, and he sucks. And then right back to playing great, like that would fucking suck, man. Like I'm too much of a mental midget to go through that shit. Like there's no chance of going through that.
Yeah, it's like Twitter this year was a scary place. Very scary place for me on Twitter this year. So tried not to look at it, but it's the same way. It's like you give up 5 goals against Penn State and they're coming at you with your pitchforks, but then you go and sweep Denver, and it's like, oh, 4 more years. So
yeah.
I mean, it's tough. It's like we're super blessed. Obviously, you guys all know that like how passionate the fans are, but like having that on social media, it's a big, a lot of pressure on that.
Well, it brings me back to that time when we actually played Bemidji first series of the year, and Zane had changed his last name from Gothberg to McIntyre. And it was the first game of the year. We lost 5-1 or something. And, you look at all the social medias and all, it was Yik Yak, and people were like, we want Gothberg back, like they're just ripping him. And it's like, the guy was up for Hobie that year, So like fans are so stupid. Like,
yeah, I didn't even know about Yik Yak until like boys, like there's 2 guys on the team that like had it just like to laugh about it. That's a scary place too.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the people our age talking. the fact that that site is even legal and allowed is ridiculous.
It's just anonymous.
It just bullying. The app is bullying. I can't. Yeah. So crazy pressure, but at the end, it's it's fun to be a part of.
For sure. So after high school, obviously, I saw you only played 2 years. Did you leave early to play for the Austin Bruins?
Yeah, so I played my sophomore and junior year at Eastview, and then my senior year I left for the Null to play for Austin, and was there for 2 months before moving on. But yeah, you want me to talk about Austin there? Or?
Yeah.
No. I mean, so you're only there for 2 months. What was your connection? You go to Omaha after the Lancers. Did you have any connection there, or did you just play well in Austin and just kind of get called up?
So I got drafted in the futures draft by Omaha. So I was like affiliated with them, and I went to their camp, didn't make the team, whatever. And then the Null draft happened that year. And I was like talking to Bliss in Wenatchee, like that's where I was going to go in the Null. And Austin called me like, we're taking you, we need a goalie. And I was like, I'm not going to Austin. And they're like, we have a pick in the first round, we're taking you. And so they had a pick in the first round before Wenatchee. I was like, draft me, I'm not coming. And they said, okay. And then they drafted me, and I win.
I win.
Totally.
You didn't want to go to Austin, huh?
I know, man. I just had so many. I had heard such good things about Wenatchee, and but in the end, I think Austin was great for me because I was still only an hour from home. So be able to cruise back on a Sunday night or a Saturday night after a game if I wanted to, like to have that option. And went to Austin High School. That was an experience coming from Sioux. I think I counted like 7 Star Wars T-shirts on the first day of school, like dressed to impress. It was ridiculous. But yeah, so I was in Austin for 2 months. It was like 28 games I was there for, and I played 14 of them. Like we split right down the middle with Jake Kiley, who went on to Clarkson, and so then the Omaha goalie, the starter, tore his ACL. So because I was like next up on the affiliate list, they asked if I wanted to come up for the rest of the year, and went there and kind of got there right after Thanksgiving and was there for the rest of the year.
So when did you, I don't mean to jump in here on the timeline or anything, but when did you thinking, this is a question we always ask, when did it become apparent that you kind of wanted to do hockey? Like you wanted to go after it full force, was it in high school? Was it when you got to juniors? What kind of thought process was that for you?
Well, I'd always taken pretty seriously because I played winter hockey growing up, and then I also played for the Minnesota Machine in the summer. So I was kind of full time, but I also still was playing football in the fall and golf in the spring. So I was still rotating, being a multi-sport athlete. And then this always gets me into my fun offensive lineman story. But so I played football all the way growing up, but I was a center. I was on the O-line.
That's so funny to think about.
I know. So we won it my 8th grade year, the football championship.
So you're good. You had a good squad.
We were good. Yeah, we were good.
Yeah.
We were my 9th grade year. There was not really a championship, but we went 9-0. My sophomore year, we went 8-1. But so my sophomore year in high school is when we went to the state tournament. And I had a pretty good year. I was like, wow, I'm pretty good at this goalie thing, right? And it's nice to see all the work paying off. But I stepped on the scale the day after the state tournament. So state tournament ended on a Saturday. Sunday, I was 5'10", 210. And I was like, holy, I got to pick.
A unit.
Yeah. With a 115-pound bench press and a 17-inch vertical. So, yeah.
Those are good NFL combine numbers.
No. I was like, I got to pick. Am I going to bulk up and be a lineman, or am I going to take this seriously and be a goalie? And so that August for Elite League, my Elite League weigh-in was 169. So I took that. Obviously went the right route with that. I was took the goalie thing seriously and played in the Elite League that year. And then after my junior year is when I committed to St. Cloud. So that's pretty early for a high school
Yeah,
goalie.
you're pretty, especially for a goalie, because I know like coaches are a little more worrisome about goalies, like how
Yeah.
they pan out and stuff. It takes a little more time for them to, I don't know, find their game. So you must have been a stud.
Yeah, I had 2 good years, and I was drafted by Omaha, and I had only visited my 2 schools that I visited were St. Cloud and North Dakota. And I went up to North Dakota. I was on the bench. You guys, neither of you guys were on the team yet. I don't think. I think it was it had to have been 2014. 2014,
we would have been there.
You've been freshman?
Well, I would have been there for sure if it was late in the season, 2014. If it was the start of the season, Olson would have been there too.
If it was
2014 late in the season, you probably didn't see me because I was probably sitting in the press box with the scratches.
I'll have the picture on my phone, but yeah, I think Saunders might have started. I don't know, but you guys were playing Duluth. It was the first year of the NCHC. Sat at pregame meal with Hack in the little room there, and they were going to offer me there, but they needed me to come in as a true. And I was like, I know I'm not going to play. I know I'm not going to help the team. I'm not going to be ready. So I was like, hey, I can't do that. And they're like, okay, we got to go somewhere else. And I think they ended up, was it Tomek they brought in maybe? They
brought in Cameron. Cameron took his spot.
No, Cameron would have been committed before 2014.
Maybe. If they wanted him to come.
When did
Rink
commit?
So I graduated high school in 2015. So I would have played.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would have been Tomek.
16 season.
Yeah.
Because 15-16 was when I was in Penticton, maybe. And that's when they wanted me to come in.
So let's go over that too. Like, you're in Omaha and then you end up in Penticton, which is, we know. Yeah. I don't know if listeners know, like, that's a unbelievable program up in the BCHL where a lot of UND guys come out of. Yeah. How do you, but Omaha's great too. How do you get up to Penticton? Did you get recruited up there?
So I got cut from Omaha is what happened. It was myself and then another 97 goalie who was drafted. And all summer they're saying it's going to be you two. It's going to be you two. And then training camp comes, and from main camp they kept a 95 birth year 6'4" Swede. And I'm like, crap. And don't worry, we're just keeping him for trade bait. You're good. Play our first preseason game. I get ripped for 4, and he has a 1-0 shutout win against Lincoln. And I was in the office the next day. So they're like, hey, you can go to the Null, but we really would like you to go here to Penticton. It's a great spot. So they kind of navigated that for me. And that was such a fun year. Penticton was unbelievable. Got to play with Colton Pullman, Dixon Bowen, Tyson Jost, who's playing for the Wild now, Dante Fabro with the Predators, played with Anthony Brodeur, got to meet Marty. There were so many players on that team that were really, really good. Nick Jones was there, UND guy.
Oh, yeah.
What a squad.
That is a sick squad.
What Gabe a fucking Bass. Squad. Gabe Bass, that's insane.
Yeah, we went 57-1, I think was our record. At one point we went on a 24-game win streak. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So did you play that? Did you make that what do they call it? The RBC playoffs or something? They play until July or something?
No, so we ended up losing in the second round of playoffs to West Kelowna, who ended up winning the RBC.
Okay.
Yeah, their goalie just was on fire.
So they must have just had a bad season if you guys were playing them second round. They must not have been a high seed.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened really. Brodeur got hurt, so I was playing every game. And then they had just a shutdown. 2 guys that played at Fairbanks, maybe they went on to play at Fairbanks, but they were just complete shutdown on our top line. It was ridiculous. I think Joseph was playing with a broken finger. Conway was banged up. We had 2 guys with 140 points or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, Penticton was great. Unbelievable city. Coaching staff up there was great. Rink was great. Fans are great. Love to go back there someday for sure.
What was the main difference between Penticton up in Canada between like a USHL, whether it's organizationally or city-wise or whatever it might be?
League-wise, the play.
Yeah.
Well, so I was lucky. Like Penticton is a powerhouse in that league, and Omaha, like super nice spot, facility, city, all that stuff. I mean, I didn't have a car in Penticton. It was probably the biggest bummer, but I mean, that's not really hockey related. But I always explain to people when they ask like how the BCHL is or how it was for me compared to like the USHL. And I always say that like the top 2 or 3 teams in the BCHL could compete in the USHL. And then after that, there's like maybe a little bit of a drop off. Like it was a lot more offensive and open compared to like an all around, like USHL is like developing you to like play college hockey. It's like a similar game style.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that. You know, it's good hockey still for sure. Like really good hockey. Penticton would be an unbelievable USHL team, but definitely like a good skill gap for sure.
There's something between Penticton and North Dakota because I like a lot of their players for some reason come to North Dakota. I think Freddie, the coach in Penticton's pretty good buddies with the North Dakota guys, so it's works out that way.
And I had it with the St. Cloud connection too, because originally when I left St. Cloud, they wanted me to play another year of juniors and then go back to St. Cloud because I know like Patrick Newell went through that system, and then there was another guy. I'm gonna forget his name now. He might your age, I think, that played at Penticton with the St. Cloud.
I'm trying to think what his name was. I would know his name for sure. I know all those guys, but I can't think of it right now.
If we think of it, we'll come back to it. But yeah, quite a pipeline the Nodak boys have to Penn, that's for sure.
So then, I mean, you go into St. Cloud after the Penticton year, right?
Yep.
And you're a freshman there. Like, what are your thoughts when you get there? Like, how is it?
Well, so I only went in that year. I was supposed to play another year, but I only went in because Charlie Lindgren signed. Yeah. So he left a year early. So I had to go in a year early. And it was me, and then they brought in a transfer from Lowell. So it was like me and 2 sophomores. So we had like a pretty young goalie core. And they just had like basically compete for it. And we started out alternating. I got ripped for 5 in my first college game. 5
Who's
on
that
22.
Against?
Cato. So in Mankato, I gave up 5 on 22 in the first 27 minutes of the game. And then I was on the bench. So that was not how you want to start your college career. So then the next weekend we were playing the Gophers. Friday night was in Mariucci. And we were down, like the other kids started and we were down 4-1. And so the 4th goal, they put me in. And I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, Gopher season tickets growing up. Like this is childhood dream coming true. And we ended up scoring 4 unanswered goals. And that was my first college win. And I made 2 saves. 2 saves was my first college win. We ended up winning in overtime. Unbelievable. And so that was like how I got credited for my first win. And then Saturday night we played in St. Cloud and we won 3-2 and I started. So it was like my first college sweep was against the Gophers. First 2 wins. Yeah. So like
what a time.
Minnesota kid, I couldn't have drawn that up any better. But then just kind of alternate throughout the year. And then after the Gopher weekend, I kind of grabbed like the starting spot for a little bit. I played both games against Nodak at the Herb. And I think I got pulled from one, but I remember I stopped Brock on a breakaway, so that was sweet. But I think Gersich got a hat trick on me in one of the games. I gave Bubs crap this year because we would do video, the D-men getting points off through traffic. And this is this year. And there's still a clip that they show of Tucker unleashing one from the point on me in my St. Cloud stuff. And they're still showing that clip. It's like, come on, there's got to be another D-man that scored a point shot in the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of struggled with consistency, kind of being a younger goalie, and had a tough last game right before Christmas break, and then coming back from Christmas break, I didn't start another game. So I had a conversation with Moscow at the time. He's like, hey, like, we think you could benefit from going back to juniors and developing and kind of maturing and having a year to be like the full-on starter. We'd love to have you back after that year of juniors, but to me, like, that didn't really make sense. So after my freshman year, I decided to go back to Omaha and give it another run.
Before we move on to that, sorry, also I wanted to ask, because St. Cloud's Olympic size sheet, is that a lot different for goalies playing on the Olympic size sheet? Because I know, like, as a player, I fucking hated it. I thought it was so stupid that we're playing on different size sheets of ice where they should all just, like, there's no NHL team with an Olympic size sheet. So I don't know why we have those. Yeah.
Honestly, like, besides having like a longer push, like for most things, like a shot from the perimeter is like way easier because you have more time, right? Like the angles are goofy if you're switching back and forth between rinks a lot. Like, I hated it because St. Cloud, like, the rink design makes no sense. They have 2 rinks in the facility and they're both Olympic. So when we played NHL sized teams, which was
you couldn't practice,
which was everybody in the league except for us and CC, we had to pack our bags in the car and go drive to the community rink 15 minutes away. So I was like, why would we not just have like one of each? But that was like what I didn't like about it the least. And I don't mind Olympic. I don't mind it.
I wanted to add on. So, you mentioned in Omaha, they brought in that, freak 6'4" Swede, whatever. And, you had good feelings, and then one thing snapped off, and then you were brought back down. And then same thing at St. Cloud, you're playing really well and it's one bad game and then you're put on the bench. Like, how do you get over that as a goalie? How do you move past that? I feel like everybody thinks differently. I just kind of want to hear your side on that.
Great question.
St. Cloud for me was tough because obviously you commit to a school and you're like, okay, I'm going to be there the next 4 years. Then you have that adversity, and like, I was super lucky to be able to be like young enough to go back to juniors and develop. So kind of, that one wasn't as hard for me as like the second time in Omaha. So this wasn't the time that I got cut. This was the second time I went back, and I'm a 20-year-old guy who's played college hockey for a year and like really struggled like adjusting back to that pace. And then I'm freaking out because I got like 2 calls before the showcase for colleges. That's it. And then I went to the showcase and had like a very mediocre USHL Classic or whatever they call it. Like, all the teams I talked to before didn't talk to me again after. So like in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, like this is it. I'm done. Like, I'm not going to make it back to college hockey, but like there's a piece of you that knows like I am good enough. I am going to do this. So I kind of just like kept grinding, and then got hurt. Like, the worst time. I missed 4 weeks of the season with an MCL injury. So then I'm thinking this is really done. And like, that was like the closest I've ever been to quitting hockey. And just like I had buddies at the U of M in a frat, and I was like, oh, that looks like fun. But like, I was like, no, like how much I've given to hockey over like the last 15 years of my life, I'm not doing that. So went back and had like a really good last 6 weeks, like leading up to Christmas. And got like an offer to come visit Bemidji State, and there's like 2 or 3 other schools that were interested, but like none that were as serious as Bemidji. So I thought it was a good opportunity, and they gave me the old, you have 24 hours to decide, or we're offering somebody else. So obviously wasn't going to mess that one up.
Classic.
Yeah.
And that's what Denver did to me when I was a sophomore in high school, and I was panicking.
Yeah. What do you just like, which button do you pick? Right.
Yeah.
So I took it thinking like, this is the only way I'll make it back. And, our team ended up like missing like the USHL regular season by 1 point. Had really great year, like super, super like fortunate. Got like the USA goalie of the year thing. So like for me, like that roller coaster that you were talking about, also just like sticking to it. Because it would have been like super easy to just like throw in the towel at any point in those 2 years, and love the game and wanted to get back to that level.
I respect that.
Yeah, that's sweet. So when you get to Bemidji, I mean, is it a lot different than St. Cloud? Kind of the same, just different city? They got to run things a little differently there with, Coach Saratori. I know he's pretty intense guy, but he's an absolute beauty. I love watching his interviews after games and stuff. But
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's pretty similar. Like it was, I know it's smaller campuses on both sides. So like the academic piece of it was pretty similar for me. We were treated pretty similar, I would say. Like I don't think we got any crazy treatment at either spot. Like, like you get nice things, you get your gear, you get your apparel, and you go to work every day. And like for me, Bemidji was like a little bit different than St. Cloud in that we weren't driving 14 hours on a bus at St. Cloud. So like the trips to Sioux Ste. Marie or Ferris State or Bowling Green, like those were 14-hour bus trips we were taking. So we would drive like 8 hours to Marquette, where Northern Michigan was, usually practice there or practice in like the local rink, go to bed, wake up, and then drive the rest of the way. So that part of it was a little bit different. But, I loved my 3 years at Bemidji. We had a great team my junior year. Like sophomore year, we fell short of what we were supposed to be. Junior year, we were supposed to go to the tournament. But then COVID happened, and then senior year we made it to the final 8 or whatever you call it. So
yeah,
had a lot of success there over the years too. So that program did nothing but good things to me, and nothing but good things to say about it.
What were the biggest differences? So obviously play style is a huge thing. You played at St. Cloud, you played at Bemidji, you played at North Dakota. What were the practices like at each place? What was the intensity like, the workouts, things of that, just like the whole energy behind the hockey teams? Yeah. So, I mean, St. Cloud was a little bit different. They make you go for 2 weeks in the middle of the summer. So everybody comes for those 2 weeks. You get your workout books, you work out for 2 weeks, meet the guys, go back. And then I think this is 5 or 6 years ago now, I think we lifted twice a week during the season. So like take it like, you're lifting heavy on a Monday and then lighter on a Wednesday, then Friday, Saturday. Bemidji, we only lifted Monday, Wednesday. Like the practices were all like pretty repetitive. Like there was probably like 12 drills we did throughout the whole year, it felt like. But get my
off the glass and out for the D-men.
Thank you. I'm getting my charger delivered to me here. My laptop's about to die.
I love that.
Yeah. Don't need a blank computer. Yeah, that was you played against the Beavers. You think we did high glass drills? Damn right we did.
Oh my God, you guys were I'm not gonna rip Bemidji at all because I mean every time we played them, it was like one of the hardest series of the year. Like it was insane.
For sure.
And you look at the guys they get for recruits, and they're not even near, the guys that come to North Dakota, the first rounders and stuff. And every game is an absolute battle. And you wonder, like, how can these guys stack up against us and play us so hard?
Yeah, that's going to the Ralph. Like, that's every team's Stanley Cup,
Yeah.
So, like, and I always, like I told the guys this year, we lost Bemidji in Nodak at home on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying to warn these guys, like, hey, like these guys are going to flip pucks. They're going to chase it into your feet and they're going to finish every check. And it's just like, it's tough to play against. And that's why, like my senior year, when we went to the tournament and played Wisconsin, like we had our way with them. Obviously, like I'm in the net, but like,
yeah,
Wisconsin, we have.
I remember it. I remember it like it was yesterday. You guys absolutely dominated them.
Just took it to them.
Yeah, we have 23, 24, 25-year-old forwards going in on the forecheck against little 18-year-olds who don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
And not like those guys are NHL draft picks. They're obviously super talented players and are going to have great careers. But like, at the time, wanted nothing to do with, that type of play. So, Definitely different styles. Like St. Cloud was like super wide open, and that's kind of why I struggled. Like especially on the Olympic ice, you see a lot of odd man rushes, and but like North Dakota is just like it's a fast paced game. You're playing north, everything's fast. Like defensively, our D-core this year was so solid, and it's just
Yeah.
I'm
That's
lucky
what I
to
was-
have played it, Go ahead.
That's what I was actually talking to someone about this a week or two ago about Alex Lyon, because he won the American League. He's from Baudette. So like I completely believe this guy is only as good as he is because his entire life he's seen 60 shots a game. Like Baudette was terrible. He was getting 70 to 60 shots every game his whole entire youth career. Like that's got to be so good for you. And when you play Bemidji, I feel like it's got to be a good confidence booster as a goalie because they're not letting up odd man rushes. They're blocking shots. And as a goalie, like you're making saves that aren't like 2-on-1s or like breakaways and stuff. So like you got more confidence in there because you can actually make those saves.
Yeah,
and I think that's really good for a goalie. Personally, I mean, I'm not a goalie, but it just seems like that's unreal for a goalie.
Yeah, like 100%. My junior year, it was like the best statistical season of my life. It was like there's a reason for that. Like we have, the system works. I saw a rare breakaway or a rare 2-on-1 odd man rush, but like for the most part, guys are blocking shots, guys are doing what they need to do. And our penalty kill we slipped to 2 in the country right at the end of the year. But my junior and senior year, we were top 5 the entire year in penalty kill.
Yeah.
So like that was something that we spent a lot of time on, and definitely love that.
Straight ice bags after you play Bemidji. Everyone's got ice bags on. Like these guys are fucking nuts. I used to hate it. Like, oh, we're playing Bemidji, great. Like we're all gonna get fucking dummied all weekend.
It's awesome that I've been on both sides of that one because I know how both rooms feel. Yeah, that is pretty cool. We played in Bemidji this year, and we can get to that. I'll wait until we get to I think we're talking about something else about that, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I was gonna add. I mean, how are the crowds at Herb Brooks and Sanford? Because whenever we played at Sanford, it was one of my favorite buildings to play in. Like it was unbelievable. Yeah. I loved going to Bemidji. Like I knew it was going to be jammed and people were going to be hyped. Like it was awesome.
Yeah. So my 3 years there, like when we played Nodak, that's obviously gathers a crowd. But other than that, like I don't know, like there's not many people that show up and really get fired up for a big Alaska Anchorage series.
Yeah.
So it was hit or miss. Like when that place was packed, it's an awesome place to play. And then obviously 2 of my years there were kind of COVID years where they were restricted in terms of how many people can come into the building. So that was kind of a bummer. I took my official visit at St. Cloud for a Sioux game. Like they were
electric.
So, yeah. Well, 70% of the building was green.
Yeah.
All right.
I was like, this is crazy. But I went to Friday night, you guys won, and then Saturday, St. Cloud won. So that place gets bumping too because it's got the metal roof.
Oh yeah.
So like when that place gets packed, that's a pretty good crowd. The student section's pretty, they can go after you. The Bemidji student section wasn't crazy. It wasn't anything like it, but there's nothing like playing at the Ralph like that. There's just, you can't compare it to anything else. And the closest comparison you could have is to an NHL game. So,
but even then it's not 400 to 600 students fucking screaming and yelling. It's, businessmen and shit like that at the NHL or NHL.
Yeah. So I played in North Dakota twice only as a visitor, and they were both for Bemidji. And like, I remember going out in the penalty box, like those guys just get absolutely ripped while you're sitting there.
Oh yeah.
You can't do any pregame visualization
Blake
stuff.
Woolery.
What's that?
Blake, the guy sitting there always next to the penalty box, his name is Blake Woolery. And he's just a huge Sioux fan. Great guy. but he would always do research on every guy on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And he would know like their sister's name and like where they're. It was insane. He'd have like a piece of paper and he just shred them the whole time they're in the box.
Yeah, when I was like in the penalty box, like watching the ice or doing something, and I look over to my left, and there's my grandma's Facebook profile picture zoomed in all the way to her face. Like, why and how? Like, I'm not even mad. That's impressive.
Yeah.
So
okay,
no, it's good fun.
I think we can move on to your decision to transfer to North Dakota.
Yeah.
The transfer portal for me and Olson, like it's a different thing. We didn't really see that. So what was that process like? I mean, I can imagine it was really hard to tell, Coach Sartori that you're heading like 2 hours west to North Dakota. He probably wasn't too pumped, but I'm on your side, not just because I'm a North Dakota guy, but it's like if you're playing, for some school and you have, even the Bulldogs or like Minnesota Gophers or North Dakota Call, it's like, how do you pass it up playing there 1 year, get that experience playing for some just, big school with huge rink? What's the process like? How do you make that decision? How hard was it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am not going to the Beaver alumni event. I don't think we'll have the golf course this year. But that was a tough decision. Like, Bemidji was so great to me. And then when I kind of found out, like, at the end of the year that, like, my pro opportunities that I was hoping for and that I felt like my, kind of college resume had built me, and again, I'll blame COVID or whatever, but, like, the opportunity that I wanted wasn't there. So I was like, okay, at the end of the day, like, just talking with my family advisor guy, whatever you want to call him, my family, and like, hey, would you ever consider the transfer portal? And like that question came up at Christmas. I was like, no way. I'm not going to a third school, playing the fifth year. Like, I'm done. And then this whole scenario came out where I wasn't getting the opportunities I wanted, and just kind of looking and seeing like where like I would even fit in, like at a school that I wanted to go to. And there was like a lot of rumors buzzing around that Sheeler was going to sign. And I was like, well, that would be crazy. And then kind of heard that might be, a spot for me. So I had Bubs' contact information. So when I submitted my application to the transfer portal, which was tough conversation, and I won't get into it on the pod so it airs, but quite a hassle. Put up by,
for
one
sure
of the parties.
Yeah.
I put do not contact. Like, you can, so there's 2 boxes. You can put like, I want my number to be public and I want to be able to be contacted. And then there's a box that says do not contact. So I put that box. So no schools, they saw that I was in the portal, but they weren't allowed to call me. Only I could call them. So I had reached out, and they, cause I kind of heard that they might've been interested. And I reached out, and like right away, they're like, yeah, you're a guy, like we want you. And that's kind of when at the same time, Pete had entered the portal as well. So it was kind of wide open, and like, it just made so much sense for me to go to an environment where like that culture of winning and, excellence is just there, and have an opportunity, like for me, especially being an Apple Valley kid, working with Coach Gehring there, developing my game that way. And, who doesn't want to experience the REL for a year? So it's kind of wasn't an easy decision, but at the end of the day, like 20 years from now, I'm never, ever going to regret taking next year to college to play for North Dakota. Like it was.
Well, and you got 3 good years at Bemidji too. It's what I was more wondering about, because I know like Bubs is pretty good friends with Coach Sartori there. What I'm thinking when that happens, because I was like, when I found out you were going to North Dakota, I'm like, let's fucking go. Like, let's go. Like, I was pumped. But I was like, oh boy, like Bubs and Sartori friends off, like for sure. Like he hates Bubs now. He has to.
I think they got in a few phone calls over it. It's a bummer. And like like I will continuously say, like I had nothing but good things to say with Bemidji. They were great for me the entire time. Great program, great culture that they have there. And I felt like I had given the program 3 really good years. You know, we made it to a national tournament, and you know, could have made it to 2 if COVID didn't come. So for me, like that's, you know, I thought at the point like I need to do what's right for me and my career moving forward. So that's why I moved on. And
For sure.
You know, that's the mindset I have. And if it's not shared by others, then at the end of the day, you just got to take it with a grain of salt and move on.
I just think that whole opportunity is just so wild, because before, if you wanted to transfer, you had to sit out a year. So it was just like when that kind of opened up, it was like all the conversation was, you know, it's just giving people a free year to go wherever they want. I just thought it was really interesting. And we just didn't know the whole process of what happens. Like, when do you submit the application? Like what, it's just totally different. And so we were hoping to get just a little more insight on it.
Well, I won't give you his name, but we had one of the transfer portal guys on our team this year put contact on his, and he heard from 48 schools.
Jesus.
So just my story is a little bit more boring compared to what can happen.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a top player for your team and enter that thing, like his phone was buzzing until he decided, and like his final 3 were like BC, Nodak, like, you know, like when you think of college hockey, it's like you go to the schools you think of, you know, like those were the people calling.
Michigan, BC, Nodak,
Yeah.
Minnesota.
So, I think it's a unique opportunity, because if you know, as a player, if you want to move on and find another opportunity, if you're, you know, I don't know.
We debate it. We debate it. We've debated it on here before. Like, there's pros and cons, obviously, right? You know, like the big schools kind of win because they get the good players, but I do feel like it's for the players, right? Like the players, if they're not playing, they can go to a different school and play right away and play minutes, and they don't have to go back to the USHL. Or, you know, a really good player is playing on a bad team and he wants to win. You know, like, how can you hate a guy for that?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's for the players. I think it's beneficial, but there's pros and cons, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I think it, like you said, like the big guys win, but you made the point too, where the little guys win, where if you're a player at a big school who's not playing, then you can go help out another program.
That's, yeah.
It does.
Go ahead, Ols.
I was just going to say, I just thinking back of all the people that have left college to go back and play junior, or, you know, spent 4 years at a school and, you know, loved the atmosphere and whatever, but it was just, or like left to go play major junior like Tambellini did for you guys. Like, it just makes me think how many different players would have different careers with that option. So I think it's good. I think that it gives the player an option to be like, hey, you know, I'm not playing well here, or they don't think they're getting an opportunity, they get a chance to go somewhere else and try it new. And if things go the same, then it's like, okay, then, you know, I am where I'm at. Whereas there's always kind of some questions going on. You know, you spend 4 years at a school and you're not playing. It's like, do I transfer? I got to sit out a year. I think it's a really cool opportunity for people that didn't really get to have that option before.
For sure.
It is. Good example is Chris Wilkie. You know, like he wasn't playing much for North Dakota, and he goes to Colorado College. He's unbelievable, and now he's playing in the American League. I mean, if he stays in North Dakota, I don't think he's playing in the American League right now.
It was just
because he got the opportunity.
Yep.
You know, like sometimes, like you go to North Dakota and you're a good player, you get buried sometimes because there's other good players that are just better, you know. And if you don't get that opportunity, you don't get a chance to show how you can play and improve. And
it's all situational too, right? Like, you might get put in a spot, no different. Cole Smith, okay, he's seen as, you know, a third, fourth line guy when he was on my line, whatever. You know, he got some power play opportunity, but he kind of stayed right in that third, fourth line role. You know, Bubs always says there aren't lines, but, you know, there's there's lines. When Nick Schmaltz is playing ahead of you, you're not on the first line. And if Brock's playing ahead of you, you're not on the second line either. So, you kind of get to number out in your head where you're at. But I just think it's really cool, like you said, with Wilkie. And I just think it creates opportunity for people to succeed if they don't feel like they're getting the opportunity they deserve or desire.
For sure.
So what we always ask college guys, just, because we were in Nodak and, like when you go on the road, you either bus somewhere and you drive back after the Saturday game, or you fly somewhere and you fly right back after the Saturday game. Mm-hmm. Well, you played at Bemidji or St. Cloud and you might have gotten to stay overnights, or did you have and you've played in the WCHA and the NCHC. So do you have a couple of road spots that you we're going here, this is going to be awesome?
Well, in Bemidji, we never once did an overnight after a Saturday game. So if we finished in Sault Ste. Marie at a 10 p.m. game, we were done. You're on the bus and you're driving overnight to Bemidji. So never once an overnight spot. The only thing that I would say that we were fired up, we were excited for when we got on the road to go to those long road trips, when we stopped halfway in Marquette. Our hotel shared a parking lot with this little local bar that served just elite milkshakes. So we would always leave so late in the day, but our equipment manager was in with the bartenders there, so they would keep the place open for us to get there. And so we get off the bus and I'm sure the workers hated it because we got 27 guys walking in and ordering milkshakes. Their knuckles are just frozen red. It was Hudson's in Marquette. We were always there. But this year, NCHC wise, I don't think, trying to even think. I know that Sendon, there's a bagel spot in Miami that he was huge on that we went and tried.
Great spot.
Yeah, so there's that one.
I went there every time.
But other than that, I don't think there's anything crazy that I really went to the spot. I will remember those milkshakes for the rest of my life.
Well, where'd you playing the best too? Where you have the most rowdy crowds, where you kind of wouldn't expect it, or if you just going on the road and playing because they had good fans?
Yeah. Mankato in the WCHA was for sure the best. That place gets juiced for sure. Didn't always like it because the results weren't always very good. They're a wagon. They're a good team.
Yeah.
Other than that, in the WCHA, Bowling Green could be fun to play in. Tech student section was pretty good. But then you kind of go there's other schools that aren't as much fun. But NCHC, for me, Duluth is a just sweet place to play. I will, if I go the rest of my career in life never going into the Herb Brooks Center again, I'll be a happy man. Just thrilled.
Yeah.
Pogo idiot.
Yeah. That place just place stinks. I don't know. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm done with that place.
Yeah.
I left there on a win, but other than that, I gotten pulled back to back, maybe back appearances in that rink. So done. I'm done with that place.
Yeah, I'd hate that too.
Yeah. They scored this year. They scored 17 seconds into the game on a Friday. We got pumped 8-1 or 7-1.
I was there.
It was 8-1.
I was there.
Yeah, it was 8-1.
But then you guys pumped them Saturday. It was awesome.
Yeah, but they scored 17 seconds in on Friday and 18 seconds in on Saturday.
Yeah.
You can't even make it up. You can't make it up, man.
Yeah, you can't.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall on Twitter after that first goal on Saturday.
Here we go again.
Dude, I was being such a prick in St. Cloud when I was watching these guys on Saturday. People were so pissed at me because we'd scored. I'm just turning around to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, we know it.
You stuck up for us that weekend big time. I remember that. There was a fan account in St. Cloud that was tweeting that I was a sleeper agent that they sent me back to juniors to go on a 5-year trip to let in these goals for North Dakota. The thing that these people come up with is ridiculous, but I love Duluth, and it was fun. And all those NCAC rinks are pretty awesome.
I used to love Denver just because it would just be straight UND fans, and you're playing in Denver. It's so funny. Like, there's so many UND fans there, and it didn't make sense. Why is everyone going to Denver? I don't know.
In Denver.
Yeah.
We didn't go there this year. And my freshman year when we played for St. Cloud, we went there the one time. And I didn't play either game. But I went in on the Saturday game. I got pulled, and I went in. And so that was like the only game of the second half that I went in twice in relief. And that Saturday night in Denver just happened to be my birthday. 20th birthday, first shift, puck drop, center ice, comes down on a half breakaway, gets sniped. 0 for 1. 0 for 1.
Oh, that's
and then survive that period and get flipped around back to where their student section is. And at Denver, they have the whiteboard there behind the glass.
Yeah.
Yep. Whiteboard. And they're just ripping me on the whiteboard, right? Just going after me. And they scored the third goal that I've given up. I'm like, I'm just over it at this point. I turn around and flip up to grab some water, and I mouth like it's my birthday. And the whole student section just like dies laughing. They're like singing me happy birthday. Right? So I'll remember that one.
That's
too.
unbelievable.
So that was my period and a half in Denver.
I guess the last question I had about college was the NIL. Like, did you guys get anything from that at NODOC? Did any guys I didn't hear about anything, but like some guys had to have gotten some stuff. Like Olson and I never experienced any of that. But
I think there might have been one or two guys that actually signed something. Like I think Sandy got some sort of in with like the Rink Live magazine. He was pumping that out, but I don't think like being so new, I just don't think that anybody was like really prepared to like actually capitalize on it.
For sure.
I got 4 free pickleball paddles from it.
There you go.
Anything.
That's fucking money.
Yeah.
Anything you get for free in college, I mean, give it to me.
So I just like told them that I was like a Division I collegiate athlete and wanted to like promote their product, and they sent me some paddles. So if I can name drop Paddle Tech here.
I like it. I like it.
Let's go.
Let's go. You're a pickleball player out there and like Paddle Tech, Driscoll 10 for 10% off on Paddle Tech's website. Yeah. So
there you go. Give our listeners a little extra today. I love that.
Yeah. Mason's gonna cut that out. He's like, no free ads, no free ads.
Pay your way in.
Yeah, but other than that, no, I don't think it's too much. But I'm sure guys will get there in the future.
Oh, for sure they will.
I mean, I feel like, Gager, I feel like me and you would have walked into Red Pepper and been like, hey, we'll promote your shit if we get free meals here the rest of the time. Did anybody like take it on their own?
So you, Jandrick and I messaged Real Good Cookies. You ever heard of that place up in Grand Forks?
No.
So I think they kind of have something to do with Brick and Barley's as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, so during COVID, the story that I heard, her name's Sarah, to get people to order from Bricks, she would like include a cookie in her meal. And these things are like 1 pound cookies. They're massive.
Oh, delicious.
And people were loving them so much, she decided to start like making them and selling them. So she started a company. It's in Grand Forks. It's called Real Good Cookies. And you can order them online and get the boxes shipped to your house. Like these things are dynamite. So good. She has like probably 8 different flavors of cookies. They're the size of your face. And Chris Jandrick and I like love these things. So we reached out and like, hey, like we'll like throw some pictures up on Instagram, you know, like whatever you want to do on social media. And we were leaving, the day before we were supposed to get on our plane to go to Omaha for the Penrose weekend, like last weekend to win it there this year. She said, hey, come by Bricks and pick up these 2 bags. I got like a little like snack for you guys for the plane. And it's 2 like paper bags full of these cookies, probably 40 cookies that are a pound each. And they were like her sweet victory flavor. And so we're getting on the plane and we're handing out these cookies saying sweet victory. And then we go off and win the Penrose. It was awesome.
That's perfect.
That's unbelievable. Let's go. Thank God they didn't have that in Grand Forks when we were there. Insomnia, we would have been fucked.
No.
Yeah. They sold those cookies, I found out, at Bricks at night. And after the season was over one night, we were just out and about at Bricks, and like I was coming over from the table, you know, right when you walk in through the door, and I was walking around, there was a table there with an empty, like nobody was there. And there was half of a real good cookie sitting on it.
You ate it.
I was like, that's mine.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I ate it, and I walked back. I walked over to the bar, and I'm over there talking with some of the boys, and like my girlfriend's over there, the girls are there, and I turn around, and one of the guys that was sitting at the table with me walked over to the table and was looking for his cookie.
No.
I didn't make a peep. Didn't make a sound.
Hey, sorry, but I ate your cookie.
I'm just glad it wasn't a weed cookie. You just thought it was one of those cookies. You hammer it, and all of a sudden you're cuckoo.
No, all of a sudden Barb's getting me a ride home. No, all good. Fun story.
I love it.
That's good shit. Okay, so Drizzy, we'll kind of cut to the chase here. You go to Toledo after the season, right? Play there after the season. How many games?
I was there for 7, and I played in 3.
Got a little taste of the cheese toast.
I did, yeah. So I just like a couple opportunities to go. I was like, oh, Toledo seems like a good spot. Got there, walk in the locker room. Our 37-year-old captain has a 6-year-old kid getting dressed with him. Come out on the ice with us. So I was like, all right, welcome to it. Went out and practice, and like that guy's the leading scorer on the team. Unbelievable player. Like TJ Hensick, like such a good player.
Oh yeah, he's butter.
So good. So I was there, practice for, I think we played more games 100% than I was there like for practice. Didn't have my card on there. Was in the hotel downtown for 12 days in a row without a car. So that got a little boring, but good experience, like pro hockey, and kind of seeing how you have to play games the day of travel, and kind of how you get treated compared to, like, it's tough, like coming from, we get treated pretty well at Nodak, right? So that was definitely a taste of it too. And but good experience for like the first little toe in the water for pro.
I gotta ask you, I gotta head pump a guy because I didn't let you know before, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna ask you, who was the guy with the best shot, the hardest shot in Toledo? Let's see if
you already know who it is. I think it's Hawk.
Brandon Hawkins,
oh
baby.
My gosh.
He's got an absolute missile or what?
Dude, it's like I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's the hardest shot I've ever been on the ice with, like any NHL I've ever skated with. This guy's shot. And then the like feather in his cap, he's got a shot where he does the exact same motion and release. And it's a change up 30-mile-per-hour knuckleball. He scored 10 goals on me in practice, where he would come in, drop his shoulder, and flick this puck. And I'm flinching, and it just flutters in over my glove. He scored a goal like that in the roller hockey thing he's playing in right now.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of these highlights that he's doing in the 3 Ice League?
Yeah, so I played with him in junior. He was a good buddy. We lived in the same house down in Sioux City, Iowa. So I just knew, I was like, I have to bring this up. I didn't prep you before or anything, but he was the exact same way in juniors. And he told us when he was a kid, he wouldn't shoot pucks. He wouldn't do it. He'd just bash a fucking sledgehammer against a tire. And that's how he got like the motion of his shot, dude. He was a big fella back in the day. Like, he was a unit, and he was working out in trash bags, like doing the whole sweat thing, like losing a bunch of weight and shit. Like, he was old school.
Wow.
That's nail gun shit.
Yeah. He scored, he missed like a lot of the season with an injury, and still, including playoffs, scored like 54 goals.
Yeah.
Like if he was in Toledo the entire season, he would have 60 goals that year. I had no doubt.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a release like that. So he was a super nice guy to me too. Super made my transition to pro really easy. So if you talk to him, like, he's a good guy.
We'll give Hawk a shout out on the on a clip or something. But Yeah, he is. He's a good guy. Comes from a good family.
I gotta he had to play. He was on ESPN top. I think it was the number one play.
Yep.
He came down and did on a rush, the reverse Michigan on his backhand.
Yeah.
He beat two guys wide, and then while net driving, backhand Michigan, beat the goalie's poke check, and went top chat on the far side.
Yeah.
Never seen.
Dude.
That's something I can't even imagine doing. I wouldn't even think to it's impossible. Even if I could do it skill wise, I wouldn't even think about doing it.
Yeah.
No.
He's got an entire candle of wax on his stick, but still, it's ridiculous.
Dude, he used to in junior. He used to come over the red line and he'd rip slap shots at the goal. He scored for us against Omaha in the playoffs, 2 feet over the red line. He took a slap shot, beat the goalie.
Yeah,
it was disgusting.
I don't know.
Never seen anything like it. I'm glad he was nice to you and he helped you with your transition to pro.
Yeah. Shout out to Hawk there.
So we'll transition. Now you're off to Scotland, is it?
Yeah. So I just signed this month to go over and play in the EIHL over there in the UK league. So going to Europe is something that I've always wanted to do with hockey. And so the opportunity came to me this year. My kind of agent that's working over there came to me with this opportunity, and there's 2 other Americans on the roster right now, or 2, including me. A couple Canadians, but I know nothing. I have an apartment, I have a car, and I have my flight booked. So that's pretty much all I know.
Awesome.
Fiance is going to come with me, and just going to go have that adventure for a year, and check that off our list.
Unbelievable.
Is that just more of a destination thing there? Are you, what's your thought process moving across the pond rather than staying here? Is it more just opportunity to play?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I was probably going to start in the coast again, on an ECHL contract. So, the jump to that league for me was financially a better decision. And then geographically too, if I could pick between Rapid City and Glasgow, Scotland, the life experience, man,
experience for sure. It's unbelievable.
It's always, like I said, it's always what I want to do with hockey is eventually get over there and be able to have that experience, and to be able to do it, year one without a pro resume here. I only have 3 programs, so the team is kind of rolling the dice with me a little bit, but hopefully go over there and have a good hockey season and a good experience as well.
That's awesome. Well, Drizzy, before we let you go, I know Mace wanted to pop in because he knows your family a little bit and ask you a question. Mace, you still there yet? I think now's a good time to bring up what Drizzy's got on his helmet and the story behind it.
Yeah, so first question, how important is your goalie mask for a goalie? The design of it?
Yeah, it's something that, goalies are fortunate enough to be able to customize that piece and have those things represented on there that mean something to them. And I've had the same painter for the last 6 years. He's a really good family friend. And, I think I know where this is going. I've had the same back plate for the last 6 years as well. So that piece of it to me is really important.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, being from Egan going to Sioux, I kind of know the story behind it, but what's play for Patrick? What is that?
Yeah, so Patrick Schoonover was an 8th grader in the Sioux Hockey Association. He was playing up in a tournament up in Brainerd, and then they kind of went center ice, mid ice, whatever, into a little collision there. Both players went down, and Patrick never got up. So he had some sort of heart condition that they didn't know about at the time, that went undetected, and they would have had no idea. So he passed away that day, and ever since then, I've either been putting his initials on my stick or on the back of my helmet now, since I'm able to customize my helmet. But what their family has done They have like the Play for Patrick Foundation, which they've raised money to do like heart screenings in the area for kids. And they've caught multiple cases of people who've had that same heart condition that if they didn't do that screening, they would have had no idea. Like the family is an unbelievable family. I went to his sisters in my grade, so I knew her throughout the whole process. And I just ran into his dad actually last week. They just bought, one of those portable AEDs that you can put outside. And so they just like raised enough money to install one of those over at Eastview. So like what they're doing, like with such like a tragic cause and event, like what they're doing with it is like super inspirational. And like for me to be able to play hockey every day with what could be happening, it's such a privilege. And that's kind of what I've kept on my mask that whole time.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool
That's
story.
awesome.
I mean, obviously,
Yeah. One day I'd love to
Crazy
do
story,
some sort of the fans in Scotland have already seen my helmet and stuff, and they asked about like the Play for Patrick thing, and they're already talking about doing some sort of like awareness event and raising money for the foundation at a game. So anything like that, and plug them on the podcast, maybe even to such a great cause. So
yeah,
super important to me and pretty cool.
Yeah, it's terrible that it had to come from a tragic event, but it's really cool that you're willing to do that for a family that went through some struggles, and to turn that and make it into something good. It's just a pretty cool story. So we appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share it.
yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Drizzy, and obviously, thanks for coming on this week, man. It's been a great time. One of my favorite episodes, actually, we've done. This has been awesome. So informational with the transfer portal and your story. It's just awesome. But thanks for coming on. Thanks for going to UND too. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who you have to get on the phone with to give me an invite to that golf thing. You have my email, so if you have to pass that along, I'll get it to Swanee.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get on it too. Yeah, Swanee will send it out for sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for having me, boys. I know I can get long-winded sometimes, so I know this might be a long epi year for me to cut down on. So I'll take off here, but thank you again for having me. It was good chatting with you.
We say it every once in a while, but I think Drizzy's a guy we might want to have on as a recurring guest, just to go over his Scotland experience and get him on again, just to talk some shop with us. So
there you go.
Another great episode. Thanks for coming on, Drizzy, again, and we'll see you guys next week.